Mikeyice coming fresh off a win with the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though it's still preseason, don't even trip. I have a special guest today by the name of Traci Bartlow. She's been representing hip hop, oh my God, for like 40 years. Original B-girl, original house dancer, original activist. Mikeyice is celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and I wanted to do this interview with Traci Bartlow representing Oakland. This is going to be amazing. You guys stay tuned. Hold on. Thank you, everybody, for joining it. Hey,
Hi, Mike.
hi, Traci.
It is so nice to see you. Oh my goodness. It is.
Yes, me and you go back so far. I was just thinking about it. I was like, I've interviewed so many people, you know?
Yeah, and seeing your face and hearing your voice, I'm smiling so big because my mind is reeling
Yes.
back so many years and experiences and dance floors and events. So it's
Mm-hmm.
so nice to meet you, and thank you for having me on your live.
Yes. Is your background okay? Because it seemed like it was freezing.
Um, it is, and
Kind
it
of.
looks like my signal is good.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. For some reason, it looks like you're not coming in good with me, but we'll still go with it. So
Okay.
Traci,
Yes.
can you can you let everybody know like who you are, my followers, because I want you to introduce yourself and let everybody know how long you've been down with hip hop.
Okay. My name is Traci Bartlow. I'm from Oakland, California, born and raised. I was born in 1965. I am over 50.
Wow. Okay.
And I came up in that era of like funk and soul music. I came up around the OG Boogaloo dancers from Oakland. I was a child watching them get down. So this is the early 70s. By the 80s, I attended Castlemont High School, and at that time, Castlemont was the Performing Arts High School of Oakland. And
Oh, okay.
yep. And what was interesting is that at Castlemont, I started to study. I had already been studying African dance, so hip hop,
Mm.
early hip hop before it had the name hip hop, funk, soul, funk styles. That was just a part of the dances that I knew growing up in Oakland. And so when I went to, and I also studied African dance as a youth. And when I went to Castlemont, I studied jazz and modern dance. And
Oh, okay.
I also studied those styles. And I eventually got a scholarship to the Alvin Ailey School in New York City to study jazz and modern dance. But while I was in New York, I went to the clubs. And brother, I'm
Oh, okay.
19, I moved to New York at 19 years old, and this was in 1985.
Oh, so you was there.
I went to the Latin Quarter, I went to the Underground, the Tunnel,
Did you,
the House
I was gonna say
Club.
the tunnel. Yes. Fun house.
I didn't go to the Fun House. I might have went to the Fun House once,
Okay.
but I Nails, Kilimanjaro. Um, I even wanted to go to the rooftop, but I couldn't find nobody to go with.
Oh,
So I had these experiences of New York hip hop in the mid to late 80s and the early 90s. So I got
when
this
you
Bay
when you
experience.
were I was gonna ask you, when you was out there, did you hear about the Rocksteady crew
Mhm.
in Zulu Nation?
Oh, yes. I had already knew about the Rocksteady crew and Zulu Nation. Um, Growing up in Oakland, I would go to different b-boy jams and events.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I knew about breakdancing. I knew about breaking, and I knew about the Rocksteady crew and the Zulu Nation. Absolutely. When I was like 14, I did some choreography to Planet Rock.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It has been like a very unique and rich experience in having this foundation from the Bay's funk styles and then going to
Mm-hmm.
New York and experiencing these clubs and then coming back to the Bay, and the work that I've been doing in activism and documenting and preserving Black culture has made me dive deeper into the history and the foundations of hip hop dance.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's man. So I don't even know where to start. Like, um, I heard about this podcast today though, right? It's called Fresh Era, right?
Hmm.
So they said that the whole podcast was on Money B from Digital Underground, and Money
Oh,
B started explaining how he came from Philly and then he moved to Oakland.
I just saw I just saw Money B. I as well as Money B was inducted into the Bay Area Hip Hop Archive. So I
Oh,
was
you
just,
was?
yep, I was inducted 2 weeks ago at the Oakland Museum, and brother, it was it was mind blowing. It
Mm.
had so many area hip hop artists all in one room that have never been all in one space at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
um, it was it was phenomenal. So I just saw Money B.
And what was interesting about that, he said when him and somebody else had started a crew, but he said Digital Underground already they had a record before he even like got involved with being Digital Underground.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, he said he was a b-boy though too. He went by the name of Kid Egyptian or or Kid Egypt. One of those two, Kid Egyptian or Kid Egypt.
I believe it because his father was a Black Panther. So I'm sure he had this
Okay.
business that would inspire him to have that name.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I thought that was real interesting though too because when I started hearing about Oakland, this is right when Too Short had dropped Life is Too Short.
Okay.
And then that's when I started hearing about Oakland. And then all of a sudden, everybody was telling me they was going to the mall to go get cross cords and corduroy pants and the African medallions. The first time I seen the African medallions, people said they got them in Oakland at the mall. What was it called? The
Smart.
mall that got yeah, everybody, all the black people that I knew said they went to that mall and they got the medallions though. And then once I seen the medallions, and then that's when I heard about 357. Did you ever know them?
Um, yes. Yep. I knew them, and they were also there. They were also inducted into the archive. So 357 was there as well, and they. I think only one of them lives in the Bay, and the other two live outside the Bay Area. They came from Texas and somewhere else. Oaktown 357 was there at the Bay Area Hip Hop Archive induction.
Oh my gosh, Tracy. For us, because I was living in Madeira, when I seen the Pump It video with 357, the, the choreography was so bananas that I fell in love with the Running Man because of 357.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they had the energy. They brought it. They brought some power. I love them.
And I remember they had the true jackets and it was, let's get it started. Oh. When I seen
Yeah.
them with the troop jackets, though, Tracy, honestly, Oakland, I wasn't living out there, but I had a lot of respect for Oakland because I used to hear about Lake Marriott, and people said everybody used to go there, and that's where you would see all the rappers, all the MCs would be at Lake Marriott. Like, this is probably like early '90s for me though too as well.
Yeah. Hi, Alan. I see Alan is in the chat. Let me see. Some people are saying some things.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all look. I had to put my glasses on. Yep, they were
Okay.
fly. Yes. Oh my goodness. Mike, when was the first time we met?
I think the first time me and you met, oh shoot, Tracy. Oh, when you did the jam and you brought before that, but when you brought Rockefeller to your with Aiko, remember? That was in '98.
Yes. Yes, that is when we met. That's right. Because
Yes.
then you came from, were you in Madeira then? I
Madeira. I
remember
came
you.
from a little town called Madeira.
Yep, you came from out of town to this jam that I threw. I brought B-Girl Rockefeller. Shout out to her. She's my sister. We have had a powerful sisterhood since before 1998, which is why I was inspired to bring her out to Oakland and do some B-Girl workshops. So it was that
I
the
thought that
Alice
was
started,
amazing, Tracy. Yeah.
and
That was the
it's
first
now
time I
called
ever seen her though too.
Art. So she did some workshops, and then we had a jam and just danced all night. That was the first time we met. Yep,
That was
1990.
though 1998.
And
You know what I remember though too? You know what I remember about you, Tracy? I remember one night Bambaataa had did a party and it was in San Francisco, and you was dancing in the circles, and I showed up out of nowhere, and me and you were tripping. You were like, "What you doing out here?" And I was like, "I came here to dance," and me and you was in the same circle.
yes, I've always felt your energy. Yep, I love your footwork. I love your smoothness, and I've always been drawn to dance with you. I remember at what's the name of what's the name of Asia One's event in LA?
B-Boy Summit.
The B-Boy Summit. Sorry, I'm having a moment.
Yes.
The B-Boy Summit. I remember we and you, we had some moments there. We were
Yes.
we were at events there, and I remember just being hella happy seeing you at that party, and we was just like dancing. We were dancing for good hours.
I remember that.
Of me just
Yes.
like dripping with sweat. My T-shirt was all sweaty. So
I remember that.
This beautiful connection and sharing on the dance floor. I sure appreciate that.
I remember that though, Tracy. I remember us, like every time I would see you, no matter what, we was exchanging energy like back and forth, you know, and it was always like that. And then and I think what the highlights for me is when you started bringing me out to the Malcolm X jazz festivals though in Oakland. I fell in love with those festivals. You know I did, because I went like 7 years in a row.
Yep.
7 years in a row. I was like, I never missed one of those.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The Malcolm X Jazz Arts Festival in Oakland. I was on the as a part of the collective that would produce that festival. And you know, ideals of Malcolm X is the belief that culture is a weapon in the struggle for freedom. And so I love the hip hop stage for the Malcolm X Jazz Arts Festival, and I didn't want to have just the usual battles, dance battles. So I created these ciphers, and each cipher was a different style. And again, as we're representing, as we're documenting and preserving our culture, I had a turf cipher, I had a house cipher, I had you do the B-boy cipher, I had a funk cipher,
It
and
was so fun.
there's from each of those styles, and they would just do a whole hour of like, this is the dance, this is where it came from. They would speak history, they would do demonstrations. The DJ would play music specifically for that set, and so you came
Hmm
7 years, bro, representing
I
B-boys.
was,
You were
I
a whole,
remember I was in love out there.
yes, yes. Those
And
were
I've
good
always wanted,
times.
I, I always want to tell you too, I love your hospitality, the way that you put me up, and you always kind of just have me set up in a room. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh man, I love this vintage house. Your house is like 100 years old. And I remember your nephew coming over to the house with the Big Daddy Kane high top fade, and I was looking at him like, what? I was like, y'all bringing back the high top?
Yep,
You remember that?
that was so fun. That's right. Oh my goodness, I forgot my nephew had that high top fade a
And
couple of those
And
years.
when I was coming out there, that's when the hyphy movement was going on. That's when Tell Me When to Go, Keith the Sneak, Mr. Fab. Oakland was, oh,
Yep,
I came at a good time.
yep. So I just want to shout out Eastside Arts Alliance and Eastside Cultural Center, one, for doing this cultural work, and two, we used to work hard and raise money for from foundations and grants. And so I had a small budget where I would bring you out here. You know, I would bring
Yes,
you out, pay for your transportation. I would you would
yes,
stay at,
in a room.
yep, and put a
Oh,
little
so fun.
pocket, had your room, your accommodations, you had your money for the show and for the event, and
Oh,
it was yep. We
I
had
was
to.
loving it. I thought I was in paradise.
I remember we also went to It's All Good Bakery, which used to
Oh,
be
yes,
that historic site of it used to be the headquarters of the Black Panther Party, but now it's a bakery. And I remember doing
yes,
some portraits of you in front of that building.
yes,
Badass black and white portraits of you, and you got on that Bruce Lee shirt. Oh
yes.
my goodness, my favorite pictures.
We did some amazing things now thinking about it. Like, I felt like when I was going out there, I felt like I was going to the Bronx because you live right by the subway station,
Yep, right by the West Oakland BART. Filled
the West
to
Oakland BART.
be. Thank you for saying
And I
that.
just
Filled to be.
remember, yeah, it was maybe like a 5 minute walk from your house, though, right? 5 or
Yep,
10 minute walk.
you just walk.
So I felt like
Um,
I was in the Bronx. I felt like I was in the Bronx. So it was like all these black people. We got the BART station. We got the 99-cent store right there. I was like,
yeah. Oh my goodness, we used to kick it, and then we would go to
yes,
different events. Yep, we would
go to
go to different.
different events.
So you would be here for like maybe 4 days, and then do the
Exactly.
jam, next festival. But before and after the festival, we used to just be kicking it. We used to just be
I
kicking it.
remember
So,
that. I remember, and I loved it. Every moment I would spend with you, and we'll be in your garden. We'll just be talking about life, and
yeah,
and I just remember like I felt like you was always like my big sister though, because you looked after me like you was though, like you treated me like I was your family, and I like that because I was at your house when your family was there, when all your nieces was there, your nephew was there, and it was like a whole house environment, and that included me, and I felt very welcome. That's why I came back 7 years in a row. I was like, he was like, it's coming up. I was like, I'm getting my ticket right
yeah,
now, Tracy. I was like, I was serious.
yes. Oh my God, those was good times. It
And the
was
Lindy Hop thing, when we did the swing thing, honestly, when me and you did that, when we did the choreograph for the swing, and I got a chance to meet Norma Miller, like, that was an exciting time because we did a performance at Macy's.
you did that show with me at Macy's. That's
At
right.
Macy's.
Wow. Oh my goodness. We was doing a little bit of Lindy Hop, a little vernacular jazz mixing in
We
with some.
was all dressed up too. Everybody had on nice outfits.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That was
Yes. Brother, you was like my muse. I used to love to like dance and create with you, you know?
mhm.
Like create
And we'll
stuff.
even be in your living room doing top rocks together. If you remember that, me and you would just have a top rock session in your room.
Yep, we sure did. We sure did. It's so interesting when you meet people that match your energy, who are able to just like vibe together, and the flow is just nice. It's just beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you this question, Tracy, from your point of view, because you was in Oakland. Okay.
Hmm.
Boogaloo, that dance boogaloo, or popping, whatever it is. There's always been this dispute. Did it start in Fresno? Did it start in Oakland? And I want to ask you from your point of view, because I remember seeing it, but I seen it in LA first, though, to be honest with you. I seen it in LA. And then when I moved to Madera, then I seen it in Fresno. So my point of view, when I first seen it, I remember everybody was wearing like white gloves, sir jackets, and they would have the name of their group in the back in all English letters, like the Midnight Poppers or the Mystical Poppers, you know. So I want to ask you, like, from your point of view, like seeing it firsthand, do you believe that it originated in Oakland and then it gravitated towards down to like Fresno and then to Los Angeles?
I think that it was a collective consciousness,
A collective. Okay.
but it is something that came out of our Black experience. Um,
Okay.
it feels like it was all around the same time of of
Mhm.
Black folks in California on the West Coast that had this style come out of them. Growing up around the pioneers in Oakland, I was a child, like 7 years old, 1972, when I first have a memory of seeing it. I also
Mm.
remember, and my oldest brother, he used to run with all of them, Kearney, the black messengers, the Black resurgents lived down the street from us. So they were all friends with my older brother, and my oldest brother is the one. He had a mean ass swoop. He used to try to teach me to do a little something. So I saw this and experienced this as a child. I also remember my brother, Black Bobo. They would go to the
Mm.
Fresno, and also the
Fresno
Fresno
Relay.
where Pop and Pete and the other electric boogaloos, and there would be different dance
A
offs.
dance.
Like
Mhm.
they would at that event. So it was like this. They would meet. They would have. That was an opportunity for them to come together and kind of see each other, and was doing some of
Mm.
the things. But check this
Okay.
out. I listened to the OGs from the Black Resurgence, and I
Mhm.
listened to Boogaloo Sam. They say like
Mm.
the same. They say
You said
almost
the
the
same
same.
thing.
Boogaloo Sam is like, oh, I used to watch cartoons and I would just like imitate this movement, but I would mix all the dance styles of the jerk and the twist and the Watusi, and I would mix all of these styles from the 60s in with my own thing. The OGs
Mm.
in Oakland, they say the same thing, that they were taking the popular dances from the 60s and the early 70s and fusing it into like their own kind of style. So it's
Mhm.
very, I wouldn't say Oakland made it up first or Fresno made it up first. I would say that it was a collective consciousness of Blackness. It was just coming up out of us. Also is something that is very different from the foundational dances of the East Coast. So here we are in the 50th anniversary of hip hop. We know that, you know, the party, Cool Herc and his sister Cindy threw, the DJing, the top rock, rocking, you know, beatboxing, MCing, like all of those have their foundations in New York City. But when it comes to all the other dance styles, all the other foundational dance styles of hip hop, popping, locking, boogaloo, roboting, strutting, that's all West Coast. It's something about experiences of Black folks on the West Coast that those funk styles came to be. From the Bay, from the Oakland, Richmond, San Francisco, moving down to Fresno, LA, Pomona, Long Beach, from Northern California to Southern California. All the other foundational hip-hop dance styles came out of California. So that's what I'm saying. Collective consciousness of Black. It was just coming out of us. That's my
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna roll with that because I remember watching Soul Train like being super young and doing the robot and trying to imitate what Michael was doing, you know, and I didn't even know anything about breaking, but I just knew that just what us as Black people, that's what we did. Like it was like an experience. It's like everybody did it. You know, if you're from that era, like when you see the Jacksons, when they did the Soul Train line.
Yes.
Since I am from Los Angeles, my mother and father used to go to Soul Train. They used to, I think they got on a couple of times. They got on a couple of times on the episode.
Nice. You got people from Mexico on here. You got all kinds. You're international, brother.
Yes, Tracy. I want to do something. I want to do something really big with my voice, though. I feel like it's time, especially since hip hop turned 50. I was like, you know what? I've been in the game since '83, so I'm celebrating 40 years of being down with hip hop, though, too.
Nice. Yeah.
I got my name, Mikeyice in '83.
Okay. Yeah. You have you have a maturity with your style. You know how things marinate in your body, you know, and it's like you just like every single move you make, it's just like so definitive of the culture. It shows and also in your knowledge and what you speak about.
Because like yourself though, Tracy, I remember the first time I came home, not the first time I came home, but I remember like there was an ABC school special and it was called The Pilot. And I remember The Pilot was a big deal. You remember that? It was an ABC after school special.
I don't remember.
Ooh, that's when Oz Rock was on there though. And that was the first time that I seen like somebody from New York do a TV show here like on the West Coast, and the TV show was really popular. It was called The Pilot. You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay. Nice.
And I just remember like breaking was everything, Tracy, though. When I heard UTFO, when they came out the song, we are delighted to give you permission to bite it. When I heard bite it, I told my dad, hey, check this out. Check this out. I'm going to blow you away, right? So my father said, you know what? He said, you got some family that lives in Union City. I said, oh, really? He said, I'm going to send you out there for the summer. So I said, okay. So I bring my little boombox, right? And I set it down, and I'm talking with my cousins and everything. And I said, you guys got a hip-hop station out here? He said, yeah. I said, what is it called? He said, it's called K-Poo. So I put it on K-Poo. It blew my mind, Tracy.
Yes. Did they have the Bombay mix back then? Oh my goodness, DJ X1. I love his Sunday after Bombay. They all Bay Area artists. And
Mhm.
KPO, I listen to KPOO for blues,
Yes.
for
There you go,
JJ and all his
KPOO.
funk programming, the hip hop shows, and Donald Lacey with his, political and social commentary. Yeah, KPOO is very dynamic.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yo, Tracy, when I heard that station, I lost it. I can't even believe it. I was bringing up TDK tapes, and I was staying up and pressing record, and I would bring those tapes back to Madeira, and I would sell them to my friends in junior high school for $5 a piece.
What? From KPOO mixes. I love that. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I wish
Brother,
I had them. I don't know anybody that got it.
that's awesome. And just
And you,
the
and you, I'm sorry. You know what to add to that? I heard of another station called, I think it was called KZYU.
yeah. Mhm. That was
Another
that
one.
Santa Cruz
Yeah,
KZOU.
it was one of those, but it was another station that would play hip hop.
Mm, okay. Nice.
And
Nice.
then after that, there was another station called KSOL.
That was my station. I listen to KSOL all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
So let's
one.
um this hip hop anniversary, behind me is my photo archive.
Okay.
And in the 90s, I was a hip hop photojournalist, and I would shoot for
Mm.
Pages, The Source Magazine, 4080 Roots, all the local California small magazines. And I also did some work for some local and some national record labels. So I have this archive of Bay Area hip hop from the 1990s.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. And so this is a collage that's behind me,
Mm.
all the photos, and also a large scale photo up there. Yep, and also this small picture on the wall right here, this is a portrait of B-Girl Rockefeller. So I just had
Oh.
a solo photography exhibition at the National Museum of African American Music.
Mhm.
And hi, Anissa Ray, thank you. And at this museum in Nashville, I had a solo exhibition of my photos, all of my hip hop photos I shot in the Bay in the 90s. So
Mm.
it's
Tracy,
it's really amazing to be here right now.
right. Right. Could you actually? Do you know who that is? Anisha Ray. You know who that is?
The name is familiar, and it sounds like she know rock. Like,
Right.
how do I know
I want to
Anissa?
ask her, like, is our video okay? Like, initial rate, can you see us, like, both clear? Because I noticed, Tracy, on your end, like, it still be kind of spinning. But I want to know, as the viewers, like, is everything running okay? Could you let me know?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like we're getting it clear. It looks like it's spinning on your end.
Okay, because I do have, it looks like I have all my bars, and my signal looks pretty strong.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay. She says she's from,
Yeah,
oh, it's clear. Okay. So it's clear.
thank you. Thank you, lady in Sacramento.
Thank you. I appreciate you for watching. I'm introducing myself. I'm Mikeyice. This is Traci Bartlow.
And we are going down memory lane in this celebration of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, sharing about all the times we've been on the dance floor together, taking it back to the 1980s, the time
Hmm.
1970s, the times when we began, and then our first meeting in 1998.
Right. So, Tracy, let me ask you, when was the first time you ever heard the term hip hop? Do you remember? Because I remember.
It, the first time I heard the term hip hop, it was when I was living in New York in the mid
Oh, okay.
80s. I think it was like maybe 1987 or 1988, and it might have been like KRS-One. I think.
Oh, but on the West Coast, you didn't hear it in B Street or the movie Breaking?
Beat Street and the movie Breaking, did they use the term hip hop in those movies?
Yeah, on B Street, Ramon did a subway train that said "Hip Hop, You Don't Stop," and that came out in 1984.
That was 1984. Okay. So, yeah, 1985 is when I was in New York. So it was
Okay.
in New York that it feels to me that I first started hearing the term. But I remember when I would
You don't
come back and forth.
remember Rapper's Delight? Rapper's Delight? I said it, hip.
The hip, the hop, the hip, hip hop, don't stop rocking. Yes, but my memory is I would come back and forth between Oakland and New York, and I remember I was teaching some dance classes, and I remember telling the kids, I was like, we're going to do some hip hop, and the children were like, hip hop, what's that? And this was maybe 1998, and so I that memory that a lot of people, like, the masses of people didn't know that term just yet, or it was just starting to become mainstream.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember the first time that you got involved with like B-girling? Because I know that you have some footwork and some stuff though too. Like when did you actually started maybe like going down to the floor? Do you remember?
Yes, it was here in the Bay. It was before I moved to New York. Yep. It was definitely before I moved to New York, and I remember entering a breaking contest, and I think it was maybe in 1992, and it was in Potrero Hill in San Francisco. And so I remember I was inspired by, by Beat Street and Crush Groove and Flashdance. And so I remember practicing top rocking and floor. Mm-hmm. The early 80s.
What was it about it that you seen that you liked about it so much? Was it like the energy that was coming off the screen? Did you like the fashion? Did you like the way that it just like how did you feel about it?
I like the athleticism of it, and I was such a tomboy. So I used to run with my brother and all of his friends. So I was used to being around a lot of boys, and I also loved being athletic. Like as a tomboy, I used to climb trees and hop fences and be racing boys down the street. And I was very athletic and physical as a child. And so when I saw breaking, it was like the power and the strength of your body. I was like, wow, like I want to try that. I want to do that. And so I would practice. Yep.
That's pretty amazing. I like that. I want to ask you too, do you remember the first time that you ever seen Style Elements crew on the floor?
Style Elements. Oh my goodness. Donnie Ariston, my brother Remind. When was the first time? I can't think of the first time, but I do recall one of the videos historic videos that you have is a video of an event that I produced at the New Upper Room in Oakland, and it was during Jam on the Groove, was during their world tour, and Housing Authority battled each other at my event. And I knew Style Element was before that event, but I don't recall how I first knew about them. And then also, Boss One grew up in this neighborhood. His family lived right across the street from this house I'm in right
Oh,
now.
really?
But I knew him also from like 94. Maybe that's how I knew about Style Elements is through Boss One.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
Dang, that's 30 years ago next year.
Ain't that something? How time be moving, baby. Time be.
I know. I love it though. I ain't gonna lie though. Like, how do you feel about breaking going into the Olympics next year? You know that it's gonna be in Paris.
Yes. I'm happy that it's happening. I hope that it's not just based on stunts and
Mm,
the athleticism. Because if you ain't dancing and if you are not with
I
the
know.
on beat, then it's like you're not dancing. You know, you're doing athletic tricks. And with the Olympics, it's about, the physical, pushing the physical limits of the human body and being,
Mm,
great, powerful athlete. So I'm happy that it's in the Olympics. But I hope it doesn't take the dance aspect out of the culture. Yeah.
I know.
I, and I don't know who's going to judge, but they better make sure that those points are also for your music. Keep
Yes.
that mentality in there and not just be like, oh, he did this great windmill and his body was off the ground for this amount of time and how strong his body is. I love the
Mhm,
dance
mhm,
as well as, the athleticism.
mm. That's a good answer though. I like that.
How do you feel about it?
I feel that, to be honest with you, I feel that breaking and hip hop itself is going to be so exposed to the mainstream that people are going to actually start creating their own brands. Like clothing lines, training facilities, maybe even jump into nutrition, maybe even becoming like masseuses. I think what it's going to do is going to just open up people's eyes and say this is a legitimate culture, a legitimate art form, and it's going to become a business like how it did in the 80s when it first became popular, and then everybody's going to jump on it, and then it's just going to really just start it like making all types of stuff. You're going to walk into Burger King, you're going to see somebody eating a hamburger that's going to say Team USA on it. You know what I mean? It's going to be everywhere again.
Yeah, I like that you brought up about physical therapy because
Yes.
dancers we have to keep that at the forefront of our movement is yes, we could dance and be free and have fun and get into the music, but we also have to take care of our bodies and that
Yes.
that conditioning and whatever your body needs in that conditioning with alignment and strength and balance, and the care of our bodies. You really have to do that to have longevity.
Oh, I know. Like I know about that. And I think that with that being said, I think that it's already super mainstream. I just seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and they were playing hip hop throughout the whole movie. Did you see it?
No, no,
Yes, even in the and the crazy thing about it, one of the turtles that's his name is Mikey. He's a b-boy.
oh wow. And
Yeah,
they
he's always been a b-boy. If you look at the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, there was always one that was hip hop, and that was Mikey. And even back in the 80s, he was spinning on his back on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and that's a coincidence that my name is Mikey and the Turtles hip hop.
right. Um, but I just saw Ladies First, Women in Hip Hop
Okay.
series on Netflix, and they showed the Flintstones commercial and the Pillsbury Doughboy and how hip hop, began to sell these commercial products. And
Oh, that's on Netflix?
yeah, yeah.
It's called Ladies First Hip Hop?
Uh,
Okay.
I think it's called Ladies First, but it's about women in hip hop. But there was a small
Oh,
section
women in hip hop. Okay.
how hip hop had become so, and like they had the Pillsbury Doughboy and Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone selling cereal or whatever, with hip hop music and hip hop culture. So with breaking going to the Olympics, I could see, oh, it's a moth all over here. I could see all of these other um, roles that people play to support the athletes, being
Mhm.
intensified.
Mhm.
Of course, yeah, like you said, commercially, whatever
Mhm.
uh, biofreeze body, pain relieving gel,
Yes.
back
Hair
braces, knee,
products.
you
Exactly. Back.
know,
Yeah. Exactly.
all of that is going to also be part of it.
I see
I,
that. Mhm.
and I really want to see how this is formatted for the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like is it going to be
Uh,
formatted like a battle, different rounds?
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Mhm.
you know this side or that side. Like, how is it being formatted and how is it being judged?
Mm. I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's gonna be incredible to see though, Tracy, because even in the '90s, oh man, like I felt like back in love like with hip hop again because it was everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything. It was such an amazing vibe. I loved it even in the '80s, but I think the '90s just intensified it because everybody came back.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Hammer was
Uh,
killing it. I'm sorry. Anybody saying like anything about MC Hammer, if it wasn't for Hammer, though, I ain't gonna lie. Hammer sparked the whole entire West Coast. I seen MC Hammer when he came to Fresno. It was Keith Sweat, Bell Biv DeVoe, MC Hammer, and who was? I think maybe I'll be sure. That was my first concert.
mhm.
Hammer came on stage with two big MC. I
Lit-
am Hammer. They put me in the mix. Hammer, Hammer. I am Hammer. They put me in the mix.
How many dances did he have? Was it a
Oh,
state?
he probably at least had about like 40 people on stage with him dancing. He
I
had
love
all
it.
the girls, all the brothers with the super, super high top fades. Like the fades were like this high.
Yeah.
He had a he had a whole stage full of people.
Yes. Yeah, Hammer
And
brought it, and he
he
helped
did though,
to revive
Tracy.
hip hop. And so
Hammer
from
put Troop on the market though too. When Hammer did that video, everybody started wearing Troop outfits. Everybody.
yep, yep,
Hammer
did.
put Troop on the map.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's what you think about hip hop culture, like
I
it gives
love it.
inspiration to how you want to dress, how you want to be, how you want to talk, how do you want to move. It gives you so many options for creativity.
hmm You know what I would want out of this though, Tracy? To be honest with you, I love that it's gonna go to the Olympics. I just want black people to be fully respected and to never be written out of history, even when it comes to breaking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even when it comes to breaking, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I feel you.
Because when
You
I
know,
was when I was a shorty, everybody I seen did it was black. To be honest with you, everybody I seen.
yep. Same
That's all
here.
I seen.
Yep, me too. And I even think about how I dance now. It still has this foundation of funk. It has this
Hmm.
foundation, like, the funk style dances, you know, and it makes me think about, from a New York perspective, those old school jams where the B-boys were doing their thing. What dances were the non-B-boys doing? What dances was the rest of the party doing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Dances
You
was
know,
the
I was told that they were doing a lot. The dances they were doing. They were doing the freak, because that was like, the freak is when you grab your partner and you just grinding the whole time. And it was doing another dance called the hustle. The hustle and the freak was like, from what I was told, was kind of the two popular dances that the non b-boys were doing, because it was a social environment. So when you're doing a hustle, you gotta it takes two people to do it.
mm-hmm.
And when you're freaking somebody, when you would do the freak, it takes two people to do the freak. So it was, from what, it might have been other dances, but you know what, Tracy, though, and I told everybody this, though, okay, in New York,
Funk and a soul foundation. That's what I'm
right.
saying. They had a funk and a
Oh,
soul
okay.
foundation, and that is black dance, and that is black music. So as breaking is going to the Olympics, don't take that funk and soul aspect of the dance, of rocking, top rock. Don't take that out of the
Oh,
how
okay.
defined. So when you say, I hope they don't erase black people from the history of the dance, it's like you have to remember that foundation of funk and soul party dancing. And that's,
Hmm. Yes.
you
I
feel
like
me?
how you put that. Yes, I do. I definitely understand. That sounds like the right answer.
Mm, yeah,
I like that. Yeah, like, I
because we
love
see
that. You know,
watch and how,
mhm.
you people forget where the dances come from, or they choose not to honor it and not to speak on
Yes.
it. Like, this is a dance that I
Hmm.
learned. I'm part of this culture, but these are the people that created this. The gymnastics team has the funk and soul.
Right.
Yeah, that's gymnastics team. They do have dance routines. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I like what they said in the comments.
for real. Yeah, I say it all the time. Document and preserve black dance and culture.
Yes, because we got another generation coming up, and I just want them to be able to know, like, understand this. There's people like me. There's people like you. People don't even understand, like, what you. I mean, they have, but I'm just saying, like, from the b-boy, b-girl world, it's kind of like, if people knew, like, your history, like, with this dance, though, because I know a lot of people say Asia One, they respect Asia One, which I understand, but there was more than just one. There was Tracy, there was my cousins, there was a lot of sisters I know. The first B girls I seen was like my family members, though, to be honest with you, before I seen it on the TV.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
This is when they
Yeah.
was coming in with the big earrings and the bomber jackets,
Yep. Yep. The big
you
bamboo
know.
doorknob. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Having a salt and pepper hairdo, the way that salt and pepper used to dye their hair, though, like blonde, and then kind of have a back.
In the
Yes.
yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
And then they would have matching sweaters in old school lettering that would say Taquita and Tamika.
Representing my
And it
name.
was ready. And it was ready. They would come to school with the Pumas with the fat laces, wanting to battle.
Yeah. Yep.
Wanting to battle. If it was on the B box, They was on the B-box, they was MCing, and they was breaking too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
That's
want that to be forgotten. I don't want that to be forgotten. That should be. That's why for me, knowledge is very important. For the people that want to receive it. Because I know everybody might just be like, it's time to move on. But it's like you got to take all of us together. You know what I'm saying? You can't just pick and choose what you want.
yeah.
You take the whole entire culture with you, and that means
Yeah.
the movement, the things that we did, our stories. We go with the culture. You can't take breaking and leave black people out of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
You
very
can't.
curious
I
to see
don't
what
care
these
how dynamic it gets,
hmm.
right?
I was saying I'm curious to see what the teams are going to look like for the Olympics, for
Oh,
each.
okay.
Hmm. But what did you just say?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying that I know break is gonna get dynamic and everything, but it's like remember to take the people with it. Don't forget about the people because
Hmm.
that's the reason why it became dynamic.
Yeah.
Believe me, there was a lot of brothers I seen that was doing some dynamic stuff.
Yeah. Don't forget the reason why. Yeah, absolutely. Keep that in there.
Yes,
Hmm.
you keep that in there. I'm gonna be so happy watching it on TV. I'm just gonna be because I know that I'm an original, and I seen it when people was like, "You still doing that?" I remember I went to a club, Tracy, right? It was an all black club, and all the brothers said, "Nigga, if you go to the floor, they said we gonna whoop your ass." I said, "What?" Security guard was standing right behind me with the flashlight, like, "You better not go to the floor." I looked at the security guard. I looked at the brothers. I just went down to the floor. I started shuffling. Fight broke out. Fight broke out.
Oh my goodness. Why did a fight break out?
Fight broke out because my friends were defending me so I wouldn't get beat up.
Mm.
So
Where
we was fighting off the brother. We was fighting off the brothers that didn't want nothing to do with breaking. And then I had my friends that was like, you know what? If they go after you, Mike, then I'm going after them. So that's why the fight broke out.
and where was this?
This is in Sacramento.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how people wasn't feeling the culture sometimes. It's like, no, we just here to, we just here to get up and dance and you getting on the floor,
Hmm.
that yeah, I could see some places was not with it, but there were a lot
And
of places.
right. And Tracy, I'm a good dancer, so I had all eyes on me. And brothers was hating that one person can show up and be a one-man show.
Yep. You are what is called a showstopper. You
Yes, a party stopper.
you step forward and yeah, all eyes are on you and it's just like the energy gravitates towards you.
Yes.
Yes, that is I've always loved about you. I'd be like,
Yes.
oh
And that
yeah.
and that's why a lot of the brothers was getting mad because they knew like how can one person come in and get the whole party like excited?
Yeah. Yep.
So they wanted to stop that. So the best way they stop it, I remember before I used to go to the club, the security guards would pull me to the side. They said, "Can I talk to you?" I'll be like, "What's up?" And he would be like, "Don't go to the floor tonight." I said, "What you mean? I paid to come dance. How you gonna tell me don't go to the floor tonight?" He
Yeah.
said, "Because you stop the crowd and people don't want to dance no more. You're causing too much of a distraction. So don't go to the floor." They would tell me before like the club even start.
Ah, that-
I was like, bro, I'm going to the floor. You can't tell me. And all of a sudden, the DJ would just play that, like, he'll play that something like Montel Jordan. Or, me, I like to dance to not only break beats, but to the other genres of music, though, too, because it's still our culture. I can dance to anything. I can dance to Stevie Wonder. I can dance to Ray Charles. I can dance to anybody.
Yep. That's why we
I could
have
dance.
that jazz.
Right.
Yep. Brother, we've
I love that.
been talking for an hour. I can't believe this much time has gone by.
Oh,
Can you believe
I
it?
know. I can't believe it too. I just kind of want to ask you. So, what is your life like? Like, what do you? How are you involved with hip hop in Oakland? Like on a you go to events or do you host like what do you call that? Like poetry or what do you do?
So what I do is you stayed here at B Love's Guest House when you would come to
Right.
Oakland for different events that I would produce. So I have just further developed this business, B Love's Guest House. People want a place to stay when
Okay.
they come in, look up B Love's Guest House. And
Hmm.
what decorated the walls with is my photography collection. So you come into the spot
Oh.
like the walls are filled with the Bay Area hip hop culture. Like all these photos on the walls right here in front of me, the loonies, I got all of this. Yeah, it's just like it's a museum. So I
Oh.
host these gallery tours on Saturday. So every Saturday for the month of September, you can come and view this 90s Bay Area hip hop photography collection. So I got my 90s hip hop playlist going. We got a little wine, a little something to sip. We got the thing going on in the backyard. So it's a backyard boogie. So I am preserving hip hop culture by sharing this photography archive of images I shot in the Bay in the 90s. I don't go out to events very much. I still keep in shape. I got to keep
Hmm.
my body together, and that's the other thing, being over 50. Your body changes. You lose your strength, you lose your muscle mass, and it declines fast. And it's I work out, I dance. Sometimes I just freestyle and dance until I'm pouring down with sweat. But if I don't maintain it, it's like my body loses that conditioning faster. And then it takes longer for me to get back up. So it's like when you're over 50, still dancing, you have to keep up this level of body conditioning. Otherwise, a lot of things start falling apart. My physical health, my emotional health, my spiritual health. It's like if I don't dance, if I don't move, if I don't sweat, I be
I
all messed.
know.
So I could
You're
still bust.
right.
Don't get it twisted. I could still bust, but I don't. I'm just my life. I'm a grandmother. I got a grandbaby that's 4. You know,
Okay.
uh, my lifestyle doesn't afford me to go to events like I used to.
Mm.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
But I'll be at the Boogaloo Barbecue.
What
I
is
have
that?
my the Oakland Boogaloo Barbecue reunion. With all the
Hmm.
OG Boogalooers. That's September 16th. I have my
I want to go, Tracy.
you got you better come out here. It's gonna be lit. It's always lit. Yeah, it's always really, really dope. So my event is
I
the
want to
same.
come out there.
Leave my event maybe just for an hour, maybe on the early side, and come and go to the Boogaloo reunion. The Boogaloo reunion is hella dope.
Oh, I want to go so bad, Tracy. I haven't seen you in like 7 years.
I know, I know. That might be an opportunity for you to come out. Keep the break
Yes, it will be.
alive.
My birthday? Yes. Oh, okay. You know the Renegades anniversary is coming up though too, right?
Oh, really? When is that?
Like September 30th,
Okay.
40-year anniversary,
Wow. Is that going to be in San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Nice. Oh my goodness.
It's
Oh,
gonna be big. It's gonna be big. This is our 40 year.
mm, that's dope. Are You planning to come out for that?
I want to come up with that though too. Like that's why I was like so glad that maybe I connected with you because we could try to figure something out and like like you said like we live that moment that we did me and you like hang out for a little bit like get some time to catch up, go to an event, maybe go get something to eat.
Possibly. The 30th is also my event because my event is every Saturday
Oh,
in September.
okay.
So most of that day I'll be at my event.
Oh, okay. I might
Mm-hmm.
be wrong with the dates, but I'm gonna double check though. But I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be. I'll look at the flyer tonight.
Okay. It's so good to see you and talk to you, my brother. I got so much love for
Yes. Thank you, Tracy, for doing this. Like I said, it's something that I wanted to do. Hopefully, that somebody will see this and
Thank
they'll
you.
appreciate our conversation. Because
Listen to the
I'm just
conversation.
trying to keep. Yeah, listen to the conversation. That's what it was. It was the conversation, and we were coming pure from our hearts. Because we're both original.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. You're not talking to like some internet dancers. Me and Tracy are both original, and I think for people that's watching that loves hip hop, like you had to get something from this though because when you're getting knowledge from two originals, it means a lot. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. That's like beyond the internet because we were there.
Yeah,
We're not telling stories from a secondhand book or somebody told us what. We were physically there.
baby, we was on the front lines. We was right in the heart of it all.
The '80s, the '90s, the 2000s. I never stopped dancing, Tracy. To be honest with you, I did take a break for maybe about 2 years. To be honest with you, but I've been going this whole time.
Yep, me too. Me too. Yeah,
This whole time, and believe me, it was a struggle to be honest with you because there's a lot of times that I've seen a lot of my friends like quit, and I never thought about quitting, but it was just like I can count hundreds of people I've seen walked away, from the dance floor, and it kind of made me think like, like I don't know, and why did they leave? Why did they leave?
yeah. It's people have their own path,
Yes,
and I know for me, I have to keep dancing. I have to keep moving my body. You know,
yeah,
yeah. It is it is important to like my spiritual health. I'm telling you,
I
when I
know.
stop dancing, my shit falls apart. Like my spirit, my emotional health, my physical health, everything just starts declining.
Mm,
Have to keep dancing.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you're right. Everybody that's watching, keep dancing. Keep dancing.
Yeah, and as you mature, you have to find other things to support your body conditioning. So, you know,
Mm.
put on some George Duke, some One Way, and some James Brown, and I'll
Oh,
just dance. Days, it's like I gotta do yoga. I gotta ride my bike. I gotta,
drink
like
water.
those things to keep my body together
You gotta drink that alkaline water.
and drink a lot of water. Yeah.
Yes, a
Hmm.
lot of water.
But it
All
always inspires
right.
the people over 50 and over 60 that still dance and just still got that, just like that groove and that feel in their body. It's that groove, that feeling. It's like you never lose it. If well, actually, you can maintain that. So sometimes don't have it in them to like maintain it, but for me, it is like my life force. You know,
Mm.
it's my life force. And the joy that
That's
I feel
how I feel.
in my body.
Uh, when I walk out of practice, though, Tracy, I feel like Luke Skywalker. I feel like a Jedi because hip hop has always been my lifesaver.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like it's always been my lifesaver. You know, it's always saved my life. It always kept me to feel. Um, it always kept my self esteem like very like at a good level. I never felt like when I'm out in society that I need to feel like feel different, or sometimes people might try to use a little bit of like prejudice on you. Like for me, hip hop has always been my shield to say, you know what, like that doesn't work on me. Like no.
Yeah. Well, keep in
Hmm.
touch with me. Let me know when you're planning to
Okay.
come out. Okay. And
All right, Tracy.
I want to get on the dance floor with you when I see you.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have a good rest of the night. And thank you, everybody. I got more interviews coming. I have more.
You keep doing your thing. You are so important to the culture, and it has been an honor and a blessing to be your friend and your sister and to share all of these memories and experiences together. And I look forward to more memories.
Okay, Tracy, you have a good night. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.